I am excited to have all of you here. This is supposed to function as a listening session, so I want to hear your feedback, and I want you guys to feel like you can openly have a discussion and address us in a manner that you're comfortable with. I called for this emergency listening session because the last couple of weeks my office has been inundated with phone calls from business owners in the community who have been facing lots of challenges when it comes to certain contracts that they have with the networks in healthcare. And we wanted to extend a meeting and have an opportunity to hear from you openly so that we can not have conversations in silos, and we can come together, share our concerns, and possibly come to have conversations about what solutions we can foresee in the future. When I first got the first few providers contacting my office, myself and other representatives, Representative Tina Liebling, who represents St. Paul, put together letters to DHS and some of the networks to try to understand and to get to the root causes of the problems and see what are some ways that we can resolve some of the issues at hand, and then look at resolving the underlying issues to why some contracts are being terminated, and what is happening with the process of having the contracts issued to providers.
My name is Raymond Dean. I'm a state representative from District 59B. Which is the southern part of North Minneapolis, in nearly all of downtown Minneapolis, and of course that area that bridges those two parts of my district, being the North Loop and the Warehouse District. Of course, I wanted to be here because this is a really critical issue. We know that there's been a lot of things going on within the healthcare field the past few years, and I get concerned when there are disruptions that happen that are very extreme. It makes it really, really hard for business owners and for others to actually plan and prepare. And we at the state legislature need to be well informed and also be involved in listening to all of you to find out what some of those solutions might look like. So I'm happy to be here today, and look forward to hearing what you have to say.
My name is Rena Moran. I'm the state legislator from St. Paul. I represent District 65A, and a big part of my district is the United Kingdom. You guys know that, on Lexington. But also I have a mosque on University Avenue, but also on West Minnehaha. I am here because this is important to me. It's important to me to hear from you. I see myself as really as a fighter for equity in all its form, and I know for many communities, in all communities, what we want to be able to do is take care of ourselves and our families and our community. And anytime we have a system that is fighting against a community, to be able to do that is important to me, to be able to hear from you, learn from you, and then look at how, as a legislator, we can create policies and practices that are fair and equitable. As a mother with children, it is important to me that that happens in all our community. So I am happy to be here. I also sit on a Health and Human Service Committee, which is what this UCare and other networks will come through. So it's really disturbing to me when I sit down in a meeting with them, with members from your community, and hear the inequities that's happening, the lack of providers who are getting services. I think culturally appropriate providers is really, really important to ensure that we are creating a process that's going to create the outcomes that we know is needed for all our communities. So I'm here to listen, to learn from you, and I hope that between the two of us, the three of us here, and with you and with our colleagues, that we can create a process that allow you to dig a little bit deeper into how we can help create some different outcomes.
What we are asking you guys is basically to fight for us, because they have lawyers but we have elected officials. So pretty much, please, you are the voice of the community. We are here screaming. Help us out any way you can.
This business, there's a lot of us who running this business who doing the right thing. So I just wanted to mention that, because most of business that been denied is only happen when they start growing, when they start getting more people. There's the people that I know, there are 5, 10, 15 people, they've been there for many years. Nobody care about them. And they're minority business. But the sooner you grow, the next thing is shut down. So there's a targeting here.
We have invested, we have put together a process in place, invested in staff, buildings, billing systems. They want to build a contract? We just want to understand what is the issue. I have personally, my company, we ask, is there a bill process? We've sent emails. What can we do to understand? We're not asking you to change your minds, but tell us what we have done wrong so that we can fix for the next time around. Just let us know what we did wrong. We want to know. We just need some answers.
We had an opportunity to meet with the DHS. And one of the DHS leaders clearly said that our system is not perfect. We're talking about a DHS. Our system is not perfect. This is an individual who's in charge of the DHS, stating that their system is not perfect. And here we have oral society who are new to the country, trying to provide services to their own community, have been scrutinized by a system that is not even perfect. So how are you going to hold accountable the minority community who's new to the system, trying to serve their communities by that standard that is not perfect? I just want to highlight a company that I've been really familiarized with lately, and that is, for example, Family Care Transportation, who have invested over $1 million to improve the community in a larger scale. Bought vehicles, invested in a building, invested in employees training and professional development, took loans from same place that we are in today, hoping that they will provide the best non-medical transportation to their own community. And all of the sudden, when the blue comes, they have been scrutinized. There are other non-medical transportation here who have done similar. So in final point, it is really sad to say that we all have one thing in common, and that is the people who are sitting in front of you today are 100% minorities. What a coincidence. 100% minorities who are affected and impacted by these services. So what does that tells me? To me, as someone who studied American history, it is institutional racism, period. There is no ifs and buts. There is institutional racism that is blocking and eliminating minority-owned businesses. And the blues took advantage of that. So what's next? I really encourage you as representatives who are representing the people to be the champions of asking questions of these individuals who you have the power to approve funding, because you have the power to ask those questions. We can ask, but you as a legislator, you as a representative have the power to question and scrutinize those individuals who are disserving the people who put you into that position, because you are sitting in a power seat. Thank you very much.
I want to talk about an example of what's happening to our community. I have a friend whom I don't want to mention his name. He owns a mental health clinic, and he been in this industry for quite some time, just like the time that we've been around. His business get raided. and his computers and intellectual properties were taken away by the government because of false allegations made by people that did not wanted his success. My friend did not run away. He made a decision to fight for his rights, and he retained a lawyer counsel to represent his case. He fought for 2.5 years the injustice that happened to his business, and after fighting 2.5 years through the legal system, his case was dismissed, and there was no issues, there was no fraudulent activities, there was nothing. And it's something that you guys can check with the AG's office, Attorney General's office. It's something that is evidence. So what all of us are asking ourselves is that if you can run into this kind of problems without doing anything wrong, and few years later you're getting a decision that you were not found guilty, or we're not doing anything wrong, how could you do business in this state? The people that are now planning to do something to better their lives are hesitant. They're taking steps back because they're seeing us and the challenge that we're going through. Coming to DHS, the Department of Health and Human Services have not much oversight on the health plans. And the health plans are the ones that are ripping off our community, the ones that are causing majority of these problems. And we're taking Blue Cross Blue Shield as an example. Like Hashim said, what they did was bait and switch. They basically took advantage of our community. They used our business community as a platform of gaining recipients. And then when they get what they needed, they throw us under the bus, which is really unfortunate. So again, we are asking our state representatives to act on this and act it immediately, because every day that passes, our businesses are suffering, our communities are suffering, and we cannot, as a small businesses, afford to have our doors closed. Thank you all.
They have no data in place to manage the transportation. We reached out to them December. They said they cannot interfere the way Blue Cross doing their business. But when Blue Cross reached out to DSH, they pulled the gun and they terminated our contracts within a day with no due process. What we were asking is a due process. What we were asking is independent group that can audit the HMOs and the DSH. As a community, we're suspecting DSH leaders are actually getting paid through the health plans because there's no process. There's no process. And that's what we're here for today. We want to hear from us, and we appreciate for all your help and your time. Yeah, you know how PCAs work with the DSH. I have a company, I work with the health plans, as well as family care and comfort right. Health plans manage the transportation business. I don't build DSH for service, but health plans are vendor like us. So if we are all making money from the same member, it goes to the top, health plans, provider, and a driver. Everybody gets paid. But if the provider health plan says, okay, this company is doing fraud, DSH will jump the gun without looking the case, without investigating the HMOs. They investigate themselves. Like, I can't investigate myself. Somebody else will come to my office. But if you say Blue Cross, they steal $1 billion, they will call Blue Cross and say, hey, this is what we're hearing. Can you dig your files and see what's going on? Every state have a fee for service. What we are asking is independent investigation that can do investigation, health plans, DSH, and company like us. Because when business closes, people look for jobs. We laid off 200 people. We're not looking for jobs. We're looking for justice, and we're going to fight until the end.
magacaygu waa maxamed yuusuf waxaan magaranaysaa aan leeyahay kambaniga la yidhaahdo Confederate waxaan mataqaanaa aan helnay contractyo kala duwan sida UCare iyo Blue Cross Blue Shield iyo Health Partners daraawilinta nala shaqeynaysa ilaa 157 daraawil bay ahaayeen waxaa annaga naga xiray kambaniga waxa weeyaan DHS oo warqad bay ka heleen Blue Cross Blue Shield wax ay naga weydiiyeen ma jirto waxay magaranaysaa ay dhahaan kambanigiina waan xirnay sababtoo tahay waxaa naloo sheegay in ay Blue Cross Blue Shield idinku aragtay fraudkana waxa sameeyay waa Blue Cross Blue Shield sababtoo tahay haddii aan fraud sameynay DHS maxay noogu imaan weysay ay u fiirin weysay warqadooda kale maxay u dhageysatay anaga taanada u dhageysan weyne marka waxaan codsanaynaa officials kan ka codsanaynaa halkan noogu yimaado maanta oo ay tahay maalin holiday ah oo ay magan waqtigooda noo hureen waxaan ka codsanaynaa in la weydiiyo DHS-ta maadaama aan haysanay MPI number ayaga aan ka qaadanay haddana contract aan ka qaadanay provideradan kale maxaa keenay in anaga ay waxna weydiin weyso sababtu maxay tahay su'aashaas baan qabaa aniga in magaranaysaa la weydiiyo DHS-ta ay magaranaysaa isla markiiba ay dhahaan waxaan mataqaanaa aan idinka joojinay shaqadii